Hey everybody, I'm David Henry from LearnStageLighting.com, and in this video I want to talk about lighting consoles and what lighting console should you buy. So if you guys have checked out some of my videos before or read some of the posts over on Learn Stage Lighting, you know that I like lighting consoles. In fact, more than a little, I really like lighting consoles. And why do I like lighting consoles so much? Well, I like lighting consoles so much because they're the brain of your lighting system. And when you get the console right, and when you get a console that works for what you need, not what somebody else thinks you need, but for what you need, magical things start to happen because you start to really be able to be creative with lighting and get the looks that you want and be able to create what you want to be able to create without being held back by either a console that's too simplistic or, on the other end, a console that's way too complex and that you don't understand. And so my goal here in this video is just to walk through some of my favorite consoles, some of the ones that I've got around here, and talk about what makes them different so that you can begin to understand and think about what would be best for you. So first console I've got here is a Shah Vey Obey 40. In fact, this one's made by Shah Vey, but to be honest, there's models of pretty much the same thing made by all the other brands out there that have entry-level stuff. And what you got here is you got 8 faders in the middle, 2 pages of those faders, and this one's got 12 different fixtures you can define. And these work pretty simply. You go ahead, you select your fixture one at a time, you move the faders, you record to a couple scenes, and then when you play back, you jump between the scenes or go activate chases. And these aren't my favorite consoles. I'm going to be the first to say that, and you probably know that if you've been around here before. But the problem with these is not only are they kind of clunky to program, but when you're playing back, you don't get smooth fades between the scenes. You can't decide how long of a fade you want between the scenes, and they're really slow to program. Did I mention that already? So let's throw this out. Not really. It can work for some circumstances. Sometimes you just need some really simple, basic control, and this works. It's inexpensive. It can be the right answer for you, but for a lot of people, it's not. Next up, this is one of my favorites, is a piece of software called DMXs. It's made by a company called Entech. And what's cool about DMXs, and I'll bring it up on the screen here as well to show you, is you hop in there and you've got all these sliders, all these faders, just like an audio console. And this is really a DMX lighting program that was designed for musicians and audio people. And it's really easy to get in there, patch in your fixtures, make some different looks, and be able to save those to scenes and save those scenes, those presets as they're called in DMXs, inside of banks, which are like cue lists in some other consoles. And then on playback, you can define how long it takes for scenes to fade in, and you can make chases, you can make things sound active, you can even hop through scenes with just a basic sustain pedal foot switch. Isn't that cool? And so when you buy it, you get this box, and it's a really great console for a lot of bands, for churches, for anyone who's looking to just do some simple lighting, and you don't need something super complex, but you want to be able to do some more complex things and have full control over your lighting. DMXs is your winner. Like I said, computer-based PC or Mac. Also on that topic, when you use DMXs or another console, there's other PC consoles in their range. Often, one of the things I love to do is add in a MIDI controller. Yes, I have too many of these around my office. But MIDI controllers are great, and they can work with a variety of different, especially software-based consoles, because you're able to go ahead and program out different scenes or different functions on all these different pads, these different keys, these different knobs. And so that's a little bit of an aside there, but if you are looking at lighting consoles, look at, are you getting physical faders with it? Or if it's just on screen, can you get faders or buttons via MIDI? And how does that work? And so I've got a lot of resources on Learn Stage Lighting that do talk about that. I've got one post I'll link to right here, in fact, about finding your first lighting console. And then on the professional end, again, this isn't every console by any means, and this isn't a complete guide, but like I said, I'll link to a post that is more of one. This is an M-Touch, and these are now made by Elation. They just bought the M-Series controllers at the time that I'm recording this. And this works with the MPC software that runs on PCs. And the cool thing about this is, for a really reasonable price, you get 10 faders, you get a programming section, you get playback keys, you get bump buttons, you get a go section. You get a full-on professional lighting console on your computer. And so what is really cool about this is that you can do pretty much anything you want in this software. And so that's the upside. When you're working with a console like MPC, you don't even need this piece of hardware. You can just run it on the PC and buy a DMX output box. But I do love hardware. I love having faders. And when you do work with a piece of hardware like this and a piece of software like MPC, you're in the professional realm at that point, okay? And so if you haven't done lighting before, there's a big learning curve. If you've only worked with simple stuff like the Obey 40 or even DMXs, there is a big learning curve, and the professional console does work differently. But if you want to be able to do anything you could possibly do with your lights, then this could really be the answer for you. And so like I said, I'm linking here to a post on Learn Stage Lighting on how to choose your first lighting console. So check out that post, check out the links below as well, and I'll see you guys around the site. Thanks.